Yeah. Now, this is the first time that I've actually gotten to play with these dash bots because this is the first time that I've actually been on the test server.
I'm gonna start with the Fujin. Three of these on a Fujin is actually pretty nasty if you manage to drive it up close enough to people.
Hmm. Yeah, I'm going to start out with the dash. I really like the dash bot. I like its ability to outrun rockets,
Hmm.
and I really feel like it'll change some dynamics in the game. With all these top players running, your top clans running rockets, Orkans, and things like that. I think this is a nice counter to it.
Definitely, and the ability to close the gap on mid range so quickly. It's
Yes.
a good move to give the game a more exciting dynamic.
Well, I am out here in the medium dash spot right now with the Orkans, and I really like the placement of the weapons. It makes it really easy to corner shoot with these.
This is the heavy dash with the shield or the
The
one with the ECU.
medium, the medium with shield.
Yeah, he's actually set up for a good knife fighter. I agree.
Yes.
He can
So
go one way and then the other.
he can get in, deliver his payload, and then get back out,
Yeah. How do
which
you
is
feel
really
about
nice.
the halved double dash? It's actually a suggestion I made to them after the first crazy full length double dash.
Yeah, good suggestion.
Oh, I don't think I was the only one. There was some discussion about it on the forums, and I think it made its way into a like a common answer on the feedback forum.
Uh-huh.
So it's nice to see that they pay attention to that kind of stuff. I like on the small dash. I think now it fits perfect. Having the double charge with the smaller distance, it feels good. I almost felt like before the full distance dash was almost too far to be useful. A lot of the
Yeah.
times, like you end up overshooting your mark or slamming into a wall.
Yes.
Have you tried the heavy one yet?
Yeah, well, not in that last game that we just played, but in previous games I have, yes. It is a little cumbersome, I have to
Hmm.
say. Maybe if they could just buff that speed just a tad bit, maybe 2 or 3 month kph.
I agree, and I at first I didn't really like the shield. I thought I was like, make up your mind. Are you on my flank or in front of me? It's kind of kitty corner. But I'm
Yeah, I
kind of
got
digging
that.
it now. It's almost nice because I remember when I first got my first patent with the shield, I was like, oh my god, I'm such a Spartan. I'm gonna like rotate and shoot, and the turret rotation's just not quick enough for that.
Hmm.
So I'd really like to see them give this guy like Fujin level turret rotation
Yes.
to really encourage that like block and swing and fire and then block. I was doing a bit of that, and it feels good when it's working, but yeah, he's just a little too slow. He just doesn't feel like a 5K gold bot.
No,
Not
yeah.
quite.
So I'm gonna head over to the side here.
You got the wide beacon?
Yep, I got the side.
I'm going to actually post up down here on the right, and when we converge in the middle, that way maybe we'll come from separate sides. Because you don't want
Okay.
to cross those streams.
Oh, yes, obviously.
Line up
Because,
with it.
universe implodes and everything.
I'm more worried about having to fight a giant Stay Puft Marshmallow Man. I mean, Furies and Leos are bad enough. Don't
Although
need
the
one of those
after party
guys.
of that would be really great.
Tasty.
Yes. Well, we took him out pretty quick.
Yeah, and you can see there with the increasing damage mechanic as you get closer, that really
Yeah.
favors the dash one.
Yes.
You just swish in there. I get a feeling that maybe somebody high up at Pixonic designed these bots because they just seem to be hell bent on making them the like absolute best thing.
Yes. And I've got to say, I really like the potential of these bots in the game.
I do. The dash one here that we're running right now, I kind of feel like it's almost ready. It should, if it's going to be a light bot, they should probably shave some hit points off of it.
Hmm.
And I'd like the double dash mechanic, but they need to do something about the timer because me having to keep track that I can go again at two
Yeah.
is kind of annoying.
It's funny that you say something about the hit points on that light bot because I was just thinking that in the last yesterday I was on the test server and playing it, and I just thought that's an awful lot of HP for a light robot.
I checked it out. It's a one for one match speed and weight for a Rogatka, which is not right.
So I assume that they are actually going to do something about that.
Yeah, it does seem odd that the so-called medium and lights have the same hit points.
Yeah.
Because if it packs that much power, it shouldn't be moving that fast. Like they really need to balance it one way or the other, in my opinion. which I like the speed, so I wouldn't want them to take that away. That's what got everybody excited in the first place.
Well, I have to say that I just went up against a Ancelot with this medium dash bot with 3 Orkans, and I
Hmm.
took it out pretty handily.
Nice. Did you use the dash to get inside the shield radius, or did you take the
No,
shield down first?
yeah, I took the shield down. I didn't even do that. I just sort of stayed back when he fired his rockets. I just used the dash to evade,
Yeah.
and my firepower overtook his.
Nice. So you did it like Fujin style.
Yeah,
Excellent.
no fanciness.
That's my one concern is that the Dash 2 pretty much makes the Fujin a little redundant. I mean, you don't have to park to pull your shield up. You
Yep,
got the same firepower.
yep. That is a very good point.
I think as far as the Dash 2, it'd be nice to see maybe if they slowed it down a little. I mean, it's got the dash to get into striking range and back out of striking range with
Hmm.
the double charge mechanic. So, I
Right.
mean, it could afford to move a little bit slower.
Yeah, I think you're right. What do you think about it having the energy shield and the dash ability as well? Because normally bots only have, one ability, one special ability.
Well, that's true, but the Carnage has two.
Yeah, well, yeah,
It's
you're
got the
right.
Ansel and the Rush. I think it's not so bad. I can't make up my mind whether that bot is scary enough that it should only get a single charge dash, maybe at 75% of the initial full range. And the hit points are fine, but slow it down a little bit because some top tier guys, we were talking about stuff, and I didn't think of this because I'm only at like 10 on the test on the regular server.
Hmm.
But they pointed out that if you get a squad of 3 of these guys, 4 of these guys, all barreling towards you down the map, there's like not a whole lot anything is going to be able to do about it. Like a
Right.
Rhino shield is toast, 9 to 12 Terrans firing at it.
Yeah.
It's not going to stand a chance. So my thinking is if they slowed it down a little bit, that would give the mid-range, long-range with weapons like Zeus and something like maybe this new weapon, just more time to either whittle them down, take their shields down, to give their knifers a little bit more chance. Because once these guys swoop in, I mean, you're doing it to people, right? Like once you swoop in, it's game over pretty quick.
Right.
And now with the double dash, you can like nip around a corner, strike, and nip right back around the corner again.
Hmm.
I personally am not a big fan of the MK2. No reason, I just don't particularly like playing it.
Yeah.
I'd rather drop the one medium and go with the one. What were your initial impressions of the new medium prototype weapon?
It was a nice concept, but I thought that there was just something that was a bit lacking. Like the skilled players in the game aren't going to like it
No,
simply because it's just it's too hands off.
you should at least have to push the fire button, in my opinion.
Yeah, yeah. In fact, the first time that I used it, I was actually confused there for a while because I just happened to I couldn't fire it at all, and then I came within a certain range. Only I didn't realize I was within a certain range, and it just started firing. And I thought I was like, "Is there something wrong with
Is
my
is my
game?"
fire
Or
control stuck or yeah?
yeah, exactly. I was like, "Oh crap, I got to reboot the game."
One
So
thing I found that I don't like about the auto fire, it makes it really hard to sneak up on people. Because you get more damage when you get closer, it's advantageous not to start firing at 400 meters if they're not paying attention. You want to close in, but the
yep.
thing just bursts off and gives you away.
Yeah, I mentioned that in the video that I uploaded. I was like, at least you know who they're firing and when they're coming, you
Yeah,
know?
exactly. It's
So,
not a ninja weapon, that's for sure. Which again pushes it back out to a mid-range weapon,
yep,
which then you'd want to tweak it differently than if you were looking at the close range, right?
right. Yep.
One thing I will say for it that I think they did fantastic, it looks cool and the energy beam looks cool.
I'd have to say the graphics, they always do a pretty good job on the graphics in this game. So I'd have to agree with you. Yeah, it looked really good.
And kind of just for the aesthetic of it, I would almost like to see them tweak this more for a mid-range weapon. I know we got enough mid-range weapons and all that, but it just would pair so good with a Zeus.
I actually thought the Zeus has 600 meters and this was 400 meters.
No, I mean
I
if they
don't,
if they pushed the range back.
They push the range back on.
Yeah, because what a
Yeah,
lot of people usually what I look at is to take the pulse of the player base is the forum community because
yeah,
that's where I'm based out of, and a lot of people have been clamoring for a medium based, longer range weapon, something you can put on a boa with a with a Zeus, that kind of thing.
yeah,
Because there's no really good medium range weapons. There's no really good medium sized weapons to go with a Zeus cannon
yeah. Right.
other than
Well,
Malaks.
actually, if you just scroll through the different weapons that they have anyway, from light, medium to heavy,
Hmm.
the least amount of selection out of all of those is the medium.
I'd kind of like to see them make two weapons out of this. One more optimized for knifing range, like you were talking about, something
Hmm.
like a 300 meter. Let it have the auto fire and the continuous stream and all that, and because that'd be good for say like when a lance has a stalker running circles around him. You know what I mean? It'll just
Yes.
make him a little bit more competitive. And by the same token, with the Regaka, I had it on there, and I just run around people, like don't even jump, just run circles, and it works out pretty good.
Yeah.
So that'd be nice to see. And then maybe if they had a second one that was more for the outer range, and then that one you should like have to hold the fire button down and maybe have it like have a sustained charge, sort of like a Zeus, and move that guy out to 500. My thinking with that is it's like the energy weapon version of a Columbus.
Yeah. That'll work. That would work. All right. I think we got this game in hand.
Awesome. Good job,
So,
everybody but me.
how's the sideline?
The view is good for here. I am watching a Zeus Carnage kite this guy around the anti-aircraft gun like a champ. I didn't this weekend yet, but I don't imagine that they changed any more than they did last weekend. I tested out the Zeus cannons, and they, as far as I could tell, have worked all the bugs out. I didn't have it whiff on damage once. Everything registered.
Yeah.
It was really good.
Sweetness. All right. Well, my friend, I think that about does it for me. I have some business to take care of here.
Thank you for
Well,
your time, man. I really appreciate you joining me to shoot the breeze and play some War Robots.
hey, it was a lot of fun, and let's do this again soon.
Yeah, for sure. All right, buddy. Take care.
All right. All right. Be good.